Hello guys, welcome back. It's now time for the last part of the series, part 3. And we're going to talk about the C in the ABC, Tac Toe, the easy way to configure and to dive with your rebreather. So you now order the canister, the tanks, the stand, and you got the electronics. You got the electronics B1 or B2, which is the electronics with the short hoses, the valves pointing upwards, or the technical machine where you have the valves pointing downwards. Now we come to the BCD and the wing solution, or the harness solution with the lungs. So this is the one wing one harness. That is a very nice wing to use with a rebreather. It was in the beginning, it was actually from the very first beginning with the MK6, they were talking about the Poseidon platform. If you hear this platform, forget about it. It was a nightmare. That is just a no-go product from Poseidon. And the platform was supposed to be fitted to the MK6. They even had a dream of putting tank bands around the canister to put them on a normal BCD and so on. But it ended up with something called the 11-inch adapter, which is the standard for the business. And they just had to line up with the business, so they made an 11-inch adapter. The 11-inch adapter is a nightmare, so they came up with a QMS, which is a quick mount release system that we saw on the canister. And we also have it here on the one wing one harness, where we bolted it with two M8 bolts and the correct length, and that's it. It's just perfect. The wing is then supporting against the tanks, so there is no rattling or no shaking in the unit when you have this connected to the machine. On the front side, I have here the standard lungs. These are the small ones. They are perfect for recreational diving. If you want to go deeper and you want to do the tech part, I'm going to show you the technical lungs, or not, actually the larger lungs. And here I just took my machine apart, so here I have the large lungs. You can compare it a little bit, and the only difference is that it has a blind plug here for you to be able to attach like a dry suit inlet valve, which is called the MAV, the manual add valve. And then you have a hose connected to this one. We will talk about that later when we are looking at the technical machine. But this is standard and this is large. The large lungs on this kind of settings is a little bit big. As you can see here, there is a little bit larger part at the top, so they will stick up a little bit more. But then again, this is the best fit for the one wing one harness. And if you're not pursuing the technical part of rebreather diving, you can just go with this setup, because this is really, really nice. I see people, they come and they don't use Poseidon products. They have an old plate wing, they have a big wing, it doesn't work, and then I put this one on the machine, because this is really, really nice. I can use this on any machine that has the rail. So as you remember, ABC, I can move this between different machines because it just hooks up here, and the only connection to the machine is the T-pieces. This means that it's very convenient. Also, when I rinse them and when I want to rinse them with fresh water and I want them to dry, I just hang this one up like this. And then you see the lowest point is here. So all the water will come out, and I just hang it like this to dry. It's very convenient to have this package as one unit. And for the lungs on this one, I just put them on the shoulder straps. And to make it even more snug fit, I actually put the cord to keep the lungs, holding them up at the top. I got that cord in between here, or the strap under here, because it goes in here and out there, and then you have a connection for the top. At the bottom, you're supposed to have a strap that goes to the scooter ring, and it holds down your lungs because you don't want the lungs to slide up. Then I made a special arrangement here, because on these units we have this 40mm system. It's CC 40mm here. So I took a soldering pen and I just made 2 holes here. That is the X of the Cordura bands inside the lung. I made 2 holes here with a soldering pen, 40mm wide, and then I put nuts on the back side here, which means that it's super sturdy. And as you can see, I can also put 40mm here with a D-ring sticking out like this. Then of course I use the Velcro, which means that I have some extra padding on the back here for the shoulders to make it more comfortable. Another thing with this one is that you can put the weight pockets. So the weight pockets from Poseidon, they look like this. They are quick release, easy. You can put 4 or 5 kilos in each side, and you can also attach it to a 40mm system. So this is attached here on the waistband. So you have 4 kilos here, 4 kilos there, 8 kilos total, and it's perfect. Then when it comes to hooking it up to the machine, that's where you get the beauty of it. So if we take the Recreational machine that we had previously, I put it like this. I just remove the hoses and the cables away. I take the rail or the QMS with a bolt at the top, and there's a fork here. And just normally it's easier if you stand like this. It's not that much space, but it's not supposed to be spacey. It's supposed to be a snug fit. And there it's hooked up. The only thing you need to now is to secure it with a pin. And there is a pin at the bottom that fits right into the hole. And it's not supposed to be super easy. There we go. But now it's fixed to the machine. We take the hoses that we kept on the canister. Now you see why I keep the hoses on the canister. We take the T-piece and place that here. And then we have the hoses for the mouthpiece. And then we just hook up the mouthpiece and we're ready to go diving. When it comes to the T-piece, you should now know this is information also for the dealers and distributors. When you're servicing the machine, you move this O-ring down here, so you have an extra O-ring. This will prevent the T-piece to go too far down and to damage the plastic thread here. That was a bug in the system, and now I've fixed, so the new deliveries should be with 2 O-rings. I'm not sure about the service kit that they are supplying extra O-rings, because that is not sealing, so you can reuse the old O-ring, just moving it down. If you don't have these 2, you just get a spare O-ring and just put it here. It's the same size, but it's just pushed down a little bit. So that is the thing with the T-pieces. Some people ask me, what is the difference between a normal hose and a shorter hose? So this is the length difference between a normal hose and a short hose. And this is also used when we have a C-pod that is building a lot. So if we have a C-pod here on this side, we put 1 short and 1 standard hose, which means that the total length is the same. So not this side is not going to point up extra long like this. So they are the same length when it comes to diving. I also put on the harness, I bought an extra Poseidon buckle. This is a Poseidon buckle that is quite convenient. You open it with your right hand, one hand, release, and you can fix the size, and then you can just hide the excess Cordura band or the waistband, so there is no loose parts that you need to pull or so, because it's a fixed size. So when you fix it, it's fixed size. You can adjust a little bit, but it will stay the same size every time as you go diving. Of course, if you are changing between wetsuit and dry suit, you just need to pull it out a little bit, fix it, and then push it back in. Then when you come home to your garage, after the dive, we just unplug the hoses. We move them away a little bit. We unplug the BCD hose for the wing, for the inflator, and then we just pull the sprint. Then we pull the sprint, and then we can just unhook it. Voila. A, B, C. Very convenient. Now you rinse it, now you hang it to dry. When you come down and in the rush and you want to go diving again, you just put it on the machine, put the electronics in, and happy diving. So this is the recreational thing. I should also mention that when you are fastening this, you should use 2 M8 bolts with nylox. And at the front, you need to have a washer here to protect the aluminium ring here. You have a washer, big washer here. And then on the bottom, there are a lot of holes here because this is actually a harness that can be changed in size between small and XL by pulling this apart, and then this is the locking screw. And then you have the size here is like there's a 1 to 6 here. I think this one is set to 2. But when you have arranged this size thing here, you might need to have to do an 8mm hole through the plastic, because not all the holes are drilled, they are just marked. And for the open circuit, it doesn't matter. And you also need to adjust the height first, and then you attach the sprints for the wing. So this is easy, where you can change the size and you can move it up and down. And then you just fix it here with 2 M8 bolts. I think it's M830, but this is a little bit shorter and this is a little bit longer because there's more material here at the bottom. So this is the one wing one harness option for the recreational machine, which is the normal machine that you dive to 30 meters. And it's very convenient. So please go with this one if you are not doing any technical diving. That's all for me now, and I'm gonna move over to the technical wing plate discussions and show you a little bit about how that works on the machine. Okay guys, let's move over to the wing plate configuration. As I mentioned before, original fits best. Poseidon has a plate, of course, with the logo, steel, 2.5 kilos, and aluminium for traveling. I don't like the aluminium because it corrodes when it comes to stainless steel screws, and aluminium is not good over time. So I don't recommend you to have an aluminium plate. There is an option that you can buy from Germany. There is a titanium plate if you really need to have the low weight. But for now, the original is Poseidon plate because it has 40mm holes equal to or similar to the one wing one harness, which means that this is a one wing that I attach with sprints onto the plate. So there are some pins that you mount, and then you put the sprints in, and then you have a plate with a convenient wing that is not big at the top, not interfering with the hoses on the machine because the inflator hose is here on the side. And on this model I also fitted within the 40mm hose, because here on the side it's also 40mm. And this means that I'm on each side here on this one, I fitted 1 2 kilo pockets. So here I have a 2 kilo pocket for weight. I dive with only 2 kilo here and 2 kilo on this side, and that's it, because I have some weight in the plate and I dive it with a dry suit. It's even possible to put 2 pockets here, so you can have up to 8 kilos with these small pockets. If you don't like the small pockets and you want to have more of a standard pocket, you can put this one you just put the Cordura, the waistband inside here, and then you have quick release 4 or 5 kilos on each side. This is also made so on the Poseidon rebreather wing, which I don't have here. I don't have everything here at home, but on the Poseidon wing on the back you now see grommets like this, aluminium grommets all over the place, and I put them there, and they are supposed to fit with 2 weight pockets like this. So you have one here and one here, and then you can keep them like this, so you just can release the weight when you are carrying the unit, and then you can have 8-10 kilos on the machine, or you can even have them this way, which means that you have them dumpable. It's not super easy, but your friend can dump them because he can just put in his hand. There is another way, because the new design that I just made, I put a band like this on this side, so it means that you can put tank bands like this. So on the side of the tanks you can put the weight pockets like this. You can also slide them in if you want to keep them a little bit away, but if you have them here on the side, they are actually dumpable. And this fits on all tanks. So you just thread the tank band here, and then you just keep them on the side. So this is now the plate and the wing. I will make a video how to put it together, because they have it assembled from the factory right now, but I would like to walk you through it so you understand how it works and so on. But we take that one in another video. Do you remember the small lungs or the standard lungs? This can also be fitted with standard lungs. And then when you want to do the technical part of the training, you need to have manual add valves. And this is where you have the blind ports that you can replace with dry suit inlet valves for oxygen and diluent to do the flushes for the manual add valve. If you have the standard lungs, Poseidon also now have the metal MAV, which is connected with an adapter at the top, and then this will just point out under the lung like this, and then you can plug in the hose here or unplug it and just push it here. This unit is also used for the back mounted lungs. I don't have any back mounted lungs here. I'm not a friend of back mounted. I will have a complete video about back mounted lungs or front mounted lungs. We will talk a lot about that. They are not good for you. End of story. But we take that in another video. So these ones are compatible with the standard lungs if you want to have the standard lungs still. And if you have the longer lungs, the large lungs, you just buy the MAV package, which is the standard plastic bottoms. This is the MAV kit. These 2 buttons and 2 hoses, 110 centimeters, that goes over the shoulder and down to the first stages. What I have extra on this one is a soft handle. The handle for the 7 is not compatible if you have the stand. Or if you have the rail. Because here at the top it's not possible to fit the rail, because the rail is like a U-shape and the handle is like a U-shape, and they don't fit together. They are supposed to, with a machine without the quick mount release, it's supposed to slide in a way. So if you have the 7 handle, you have to modify a little with the metal grinder, or I just put here at the top a normal standard strap for lifting. Normally I lift my machine like this. I don't lift it with a handle, but if you want to have a soft handle, it's available, and I can make sure that you get one if you want to. Also, when it comes to the C-Pod T-piece, which is an extra option that you have for the technical diving, we then have this little baby. So from Germany you can buy this, which is a T-piece with a C-Pod connector here on the side. And it's supposed to be on this side. You can dive it with a blind plug, and you can dive with the C-pod inside. This is very much more convenient than the C-pod solution from Poseidon, because the T-piece that Poseidon has is this long, and it's like a nightmare hair on the side of the head with all the cables and all the hardware and everything. So this is a very much snugger solution, and these ones come also with a drilled hole here from now. So if I take the other T-piece on the other side, which I bought later, I had one original on this side and this on this side, but then I bought a new one and an extra. This has no C-pod connector, but here you can see that you can get a drilled hole, which is standard nowadays, and then you can attach the MAVs there if you want to, if you have the metal MAVs. So if you have a C-pod for your technical machine, you should look at this solution. Then when it comes to hooking up to the machine, as you can see now, we can actually use the recreational machine. It doesn't matter, because since I did it the easy way, ABC, Tac Toe, this means that the front of this machine is just a rail. It has nothing to do with technical, or has nothing to do with anything. It's just a flat face. Here you have the same rail. It's the same thing with the snug fit, so you need to practice a little bit. I didn't practice that much, but a little bit faster than some of the beginners. And then we just take out the hoses. This means that you can have, in the dive shop, you can have one wing one harness when you do in the recreational training with students and so on, and then you can easily have the technical plate and the technical with the technical lungs with the MAVs and everything, and you just hook up the hoses and you have the same thing on the back. Of course, if you're doing the technical, you need to switch the tanks, but I'm not going to pull up the technical machine and do the same thing, because it's just, yeah, it just looks. You understand the concept. When you come home, you unhook the hoses, you move them away like this, you unhook the BCD hose, pull the sprint, and then take it off. You rinse the lungs, and the same with this one. You can actually hang it like this, and you see the lowest point is here with the lungs, and all the water will come out. Or you can hang it, you hang it like this, I think is a more accurate angle. So, keeping it simple, when you're buying a machine from Poseidon, or if you're buying a used machine, or if you're a dive shop or a dealer or distributor, you now have a better understanding in how a machine should be ordered and what you should bring along with the investment that you are buying. So, this is the recreation machine as we have, or how we have spoken about it. This is a one wing, one harness, the 7 base. We first have the 7 base here, 7 base here, and as you can see now, I took away the stand because this is now standing on the tanks and on the BCD. So this is a recreation machine, easy to use for recreational diving down to 40 meters. We have the base here, the 7 base. We have the 1 wing, and together with that we have the 1 harness that we then put on the standard lungs on. We have solid state sensors inside because we don't want to have any interruption in our diving, or we don't want to have any hassle when we go away for diving. On a trip, on a dive day or whatever. Solid state cells are here. It's 2024, come on, buy them. Weight pockets on this machine here, convenient. So you can quick release them as you go if you want to lighten the machine when you're carrying it, and also when you're diving it, you just push it in. You can have 5 kilos in each, 4 or 5 kilos. We have the QMS, which is the hook-on system with the sprint, and we have the correct screws for the canister. On this side where we don't have the stand, we have the ruler inside, and you need to have 5 M8x8 with washers. You need to have 2 M8 hexagon bolts for the QMS to fix it on the harness. But I will show you a list, and I will provide you a list with what screws you should have or what you should use on the machine. So this is a recreational machine, and it has the canister with tanks 1A, the electronics B, and the buoyancy package C. Tac Toe. Let's move over to the technical arrangement with the plate and the wing. And here we have the full Monty with the technical machine that is capable of diving to Tech 100 like the Mod 3 course, because we have the manual add valves, we have a seatboard connector and so on, and all the bits and pieces. So we have the 7 base, the same as on the recreational machine. We have a 1 wing, we have a plate, standard plate, and we have, of course, the solid state sensors inside, because we don't want to interrupt our diving. We have some weight pockets. On this machine, I have the 2 kilo ones here. Here on the side, there's the 2 kilo pockets. And I also got the rubber inversion kit that makes us able to have the first stages down and the rubber hose comes up. The rubber hose, in my opinion, is more rugged and they last longer. There is one thing with the rubber hose inversion kit that is extra feature that nobody knows about. When you are diving and you come up after the dive, you take this one and then you can move this one over like this, and then you can release your battery. Then all the water will come out from the battery compartment. You can shake this, don't drop the battery. Shake this, dry this with a towel and put it in the charger. And then you can leave it like this for the evening, because then you will get some of the condensation out and all the condensation on the head will go away also. So this is only able if you have the rubber inversion kit with the correct hose length. We have on the system, as we know for now, we also have the QMS, the rail that is in between the wing and the plate and the base of the 7. And to be able to fix this or to mount this, you need to have the correct screw. I've been talking about this a lot, but you need to have this correct screw package. 4 M5x8 with big washers on the front to hold either the ruler or the stand. And then on the plate and the wing, you need 2 M8, and it could depend a little bit on the length, but if it's a 1 wing 1 harness, or if it's a steel plate, aluminum plate and so on, but it's like M8 20 is the shortest one that I use, and the longest one is like 35. And you have big washers and nylock nuts. That will do it. So that is the only screws that you need on this system. And of course, I didn't put up the cover because I wanted you to see the machine in more detail like this. So here it is, the 7 in an easy way to configure. You know what to shop to get this machine when you're buying it from Poseidon. And the extras that you want to have is, of course, the stand. You want to buy the tank covers. You want to buy the Spectra cover that goes on to the fittings of the machine, so it looks like this. You want to have the soft handle that I placed here, because the 7 handle is not compatible with the QMS. If you have the QMS on the machine, you will not be able to fit the handle without metal grinder or whatever. It doesn't fit together. I just put this here. It's just at the top of the plate, because here is 2 holes at the top of the plate, and it's just a nice handle to to grab if you want to lift it in a boat or in a car or whatever. Normally I grab my machine like this, or actually I grab it like this, because then I can have a nice lift and I put it on the boat or in the car or whatever. But the soft handle is available. I talked about the C-Pod thing here, which is more convenient, more streamlined. So you don't need to have the big third cell adapter here, and then you need to change the length of these hoses. Some people ask me what is the difference between a short and a long hose that we are using in the system. And I have this here, the two different hoses. So this is the difference between the C-Pod adapter and a standard hose. That is why we have the short hose. So if you have the C-Pod third cell adapter here from Poseidon, you use this one. Okay, that's all for now. And I'm thinking, yeah, you got the metal buckle, of course. I almost forgot. The Poseidon metal buckle is really, really convenient, and it doesn't come with the one wing one harness. On the plate and the wing it is, but not on the soft harness that is the one wing one harness. Okay, that's a wrap up, and yeah, talk to you soon, because the video will keep on coming. I will be making shorter videos on Instagram, and I will be making longer videos on YouTube. So there will be a little bit mix of this. See you around. Take care. Bye bye. Cheers.